Come get it.
I don't understand the hostility. I'm just trying to get your
Because
driver's
you're a
license.
liar.
And I also
He's dirty. That's what he is. He's a liar and dirty.
Some cops think that they can bully anyone they want, but today we are showing you the moments when dumb cops mess with the wrong person and learn their lesson the hard way. On November 16th, 2021, an individual was stopped by the police for unclear and questionable reason. The officer's actions lacked any solid justification, pointing to the misuse of power.
Getting pulled over, people. Here we go.
Good evening, sir. Debbie Davis, Lake County Sheriff's Office.
What's up?
Can I have your driver's license, please?
For what?
So I can make sure that you have a driver's license.
That's what you pulled me over to do, a driver's license verification?
No, I'm conducting a traffic stop because I observed you commit a traffic infraction.
What was that?
Can you roll down the window so I can hear you? I can't hear you.
Can you guys hear him? Because I can hear him.
I can't hear you too well. I need to hear you just as much as you can hear me.
So what traffic infraction did I commit?
You crossed a solid line and I ran your license plate. It appears to be expired, so I'm investigating that.
The f*** ever. Come get it.
I don't understand the hostility. I'm just trying to get your
Because
driver's
you're a
license.
liar.
And I also need your proof of registration and insurance.
Because you're a liar, that's why. It's over here, come get it.
Okay, sir, I'm not going to play these games with you.
Come
Okay,
get
how
it,
about-
I'm holding out the window, I'm producing it, that's the law.
Okay, sir.
Producing, don't f***ing get your hand out of my f***ing car.
Okay, meet me in the back of the car.
I'm producing it right there.
And step out with your registration and proof of insurance as well, because I need to see those two things as well, please. Thank you.
What?
Sir, I need you to step out of the car.
I'm
please,
getting the
with-
f***ing insurance and the paperwork you just asked for. I'm getting it.
You know, somebody said, oh, cop pulled me over and he lied and said my license plates were expired, or my license plate light was out, or my headlight was out. or I
it's
didn't
always
use my
retaliation.
pencil.
I mean, duh.
You know, there was a time in my life where I thought, yeah, right, you know, but not no more. I believe it now.
Didn't cross over no f***ing solid line. He's a liar. He's making up f***ing lies. Can you find out what plate code he used for Indiana when he ran it?
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Can you find out what plate code he used? Because if you run Indiana plates and you don't know the plate code, it don't work.
Your plate's coming up, but whatever paperwork you gave him is showing that it's not expired, but your tag is showing expired. From what
Paperwork in the tag. I can show you the tag. It's not expired.
I understand. That's all paperwork.
Paperwork's not expired, nor is the tag. It says 5/7/22. Then they're on the sticker that says 22. It's even got the license plate number. It ain't showing expired. He just ain't running it right. You got to know the Indiana plate code to be able to run an Indiana plate properly.
The individual was stopped for an expired license, but when he checked the paperwork, it wasn't expired. The officer clearly had no idea what he was doing.
Check out my shirt I'm wearing too. Good day to wear this shirt. Oh yeah. They're fucking dirty here, man. Lee County is some of the dirtiest cops I've met. All over this country. Now he's gonna get the VIN. The last cop thought the VIN was in the trunk. Wonder if he'll be able to find it in the windshield. He's dirty. That's what he is. He's a liar and dirty. I'd love to know what line I crossed, because I got 360 video cam, I got front, rear, I got 8 cameras in there, and you're a liar.
Each incident deepens the damage to a profession already distrusted and accused of protecting criminals. Accountability is long overdue. That officer learned a lesson the hard way, but it is nothing compared to what will happen to the next one.
Okay, well, he can talk to you after the traffic
He
stop,
has the
man.
right to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
An individual gets pulled over during a traffic stop, and the first thing he does is FaceTime his lawyer. The officer wasn't ready for that move.
I'm not talking to you. Who are
I'm
you?
his attorney, sir.
Okay, well, he can talk to you after the traffic
He
stop,
has the
man.
right to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
For just a minute here, you said you've had nothing to drink this evening.
Hello, officer.
Have you had anything?
Hello.
I'm not talking to you. Who are
I'm
you?
his attorney, sir.
Okay, well, he can talk to you after the traffic
He
stop,
has the right
man.
to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
That's fine, but I'm not going to talk to you right now. All right, so what I'm going to need you to do is perform a couple steps or a couple tests for me, okay?
Field sobriety tests are
Yeah,
voluntary, sir.
Ma'am, I'm not
I'm
talking to
talking to
you.
my client.
The cop was clearly pissed when he realized that he can't do anything in the presence of an attorney. His power trip ended real quick. Now you would think that they would learn by now, but this next cop seriously underestimated the wrong person.
You know what I mean? So if they don't want you over here, if they don't want to give you services, they're just going to ask you to leave, okay?
It's for client confidentiality.
On May 5th, 2025, Sean from Long Island Audit visited the Rhode Island Department of Corrections, Probation, and Parole Office to exercise his right to film in public areas.
So we have some applications over here. Request for EBT card. Assistance request form.
Can I help you with something?
I'm just taking a look around at the applications and stuff here.
Recording in here?
Yes, sir. What is the what are the services that are offered to the public
Can
here?
I show you a sign first?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, let me see.
We don't allow recording. Only because of confidentiality of the clients.
Okay, where's the sign you wanted to show me?
This is the sign right here. So I'm going to ask you to stop recording. If you can't, you're going to have to leave the building, okay?
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave, sir.
You're not going to leave?
No.
Sonny! Oh!
Want to leave, please, bro?
Excuse me?
It's there. It's there.
I'm sorry, I can't. Let me get closer to you.
I asked him to leave. He said he refuses to leave.
First, can I get your name and badge number, please?
Officer Torre, badge 100.
Oh, how are you?
It's their ruling, you know what I mean? So if they don't want you over here, if they don't want to give you services, they're just going to ask you to leave, okay?
It's for client confidentiality.
If they don't want you recording, if they don't want you here, they have to ask you. I'll have to ask you to leave. That's all it is, man.
You have the right to apply, but you can't just
You can't
film
just come in.
general things.
Why couldn't I just come in and film applications and general things here? This is this
You can grab an application and sit down and fill an application. No one's
right?
denying
Is
you
this a
that.
public building? Open to the public, right?
To the public, but
Right. I'm
for
a
their
member of the
services,
public.
for their services.
Right.
okay?
I'm a member of the public. I'm just here,
understand
an
that.
independent journalist. I'm working on a story on the facility here. And that sign's not a statute. It's not a law. It's just something somebody
But if
printed
they-
out on a.
If they don't want you here, man, and if you're here to grab an application,
I have every right to be here, though.
I understand. I'm not arguing with you, brother. Okay?
I'm not arguing with you either. You're the one telling me to
If they
leave.
want you-
He told Sean to leave even though he knew that he had the right to publicly record. What he didn't expect was that Sean knew his rights and wasn't backing down.
If they don't want you here, you'll have to leave.
No, that's not the way the law works. I have every right to be here.
Okay, you're free to stay. Go ahead, record as long as you want to. Okay.
So
All
why
right?
would
If
you tell me to leave then?
If you have to grab an
You're
application,
picking up
go for it.
documents here,
Right.
and there could be personal information on it. And
So, but why would you
it's
leave
a
personal
federal
information?
law.
Why would you leave people's personal information where anybody
Yeah,
could see
we
it?
don't, but there could
This
be
isn't actually even our department.
somebody's name that came in
Right,
registered.
Right. We wouldn't want to leave anybody's personal information where anybody could see it, right? I mean,
Is there something I can do to help?
yeah. What services do you offer here to the public?
Well, there's several different buildings, several different departments.
Okay.
In the building. There's the Department of Labor and Training.
Okay.
The Department of Human Services, and over there is probation. So.
Right, to the other building. Yeah, I was in there. I checked it out. Okay. So what? But so Department of Labor, helping people get jobs, things of that nature, and then Department of Health and Human Services is what?
That Department of Human Services.
Human Services.
SNAP, medical.
Okay, gotcha.
Those kind of benefits.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. You are going to try to avoid customer.
Oh, like I said, I don't think I don't think you guys would leave personal information out
Well, I
where
know, but if
people
there's
could see
customers
it.
in the lobby, I would just.
Right. I know. We're having. I'm not arguing with her. I'm having
He can do as
conversation.
he pleases. He's not committing any crimes or anything like that. Just let him be. It's fine. You can do as you please, brother.
So you know she's a new supervisor.
Between now and.
I was just having a polite conversation with her.
At first, the cop thought he could scare Sean off with a bit of pressure, but when that didn't work, he quickly switched up his attitude. It is clear that he wasn't used to someone standing their ground.
I don't know why do you guys need so much security in this building? Is that like is there a reason?
Tax information around.
Like, is this like, do people like normally, I don't know. We have 2 security guards and a law enforcement officer stationed here. So he's talking to them right here.
It's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
So why, if it's okay, why do this, man? I'm not arguing with you. I'm not trying to argue with anybody. I'm just saying, you know, I'm here to exercise my rights. That's it.
Go for it, bro. That's all you. Do you?
Okay, thanks, officer. Appreciate it. Thanks. You did take
If
it.
you need any help, ask them.
I will.
They'll help you out.
I will.
You know, if you want to record, go for it, man. If you want
Okay.
to take a seat and enjoy it, that's all you, man.
All right, sounds good. You know, I don't see what's the big deal. He's a law enforcement officer. He took an oath to uphold our constitutional rights. I want you all to point out in the comment section how much personal confidential information that I've received since I've been here. You know, it's good to come into these buildings because you get to see the government waste. We have 1, 2 security officers. For what? For what reason? This is the Department of Labor and Department of Human Services. Nobody's in here. I don't really get it. Officer, quick question for you. Is there like a security, as far as like security, high security risk here? Because I noticed that you're stationed here.
I'm just doing a detail over here, brother.
Right, but normally a law enforcement officer is stationed in this building? Okay. And with 2 security guards?
Security guards, yeah.
Right. Is there like some heightened... I'm trying to understand.
Just because of the clientele that comes in here, that's all it is, man.
Oh, they could be...
For the staff's safety and their well-being, that's why they request, you know...
A detail,
then
officer detail, and then the 2 security guards.
You're no threat, man, to us.
No, I'm not.
You gotta do your job.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
The cop tried to bully Sean using his badge to push him around, but the moment that Sean stood firm and backed it up with the law, the cop folded fast. It showed exactly how they operate: intimidate first and retreat when challenged.
I respect it.
And I'm glad that you're doing your job by allowing me to do my job.
Respect, you know, their policies.
Listen, and I had no problem talking to them, and I can explain it to them. My name is Sean. You know, I'm an independent journalist. I'm just, you know, seeing things like this where you have like 2 security guards and a law enforcement officer in such a small area here. It's kind of like
now it's not busy.
Seems like a waste, right?
Now it's not busy, but during the summer there's a line here and
crazy lines and everything. People getting rowdy.
Try to come next time. Try to come down in the beginning of the month or so.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Couple days, give it like 4 more days or so, and come down and see how the line is,
how packed it is in
how
here.
It gets packed, and you know, people get really pissed off, and that's all it is.
All right, so you just make
their safety, their well-being. They want to feel safe while they're at work, so they have us.
I'm just saying, you know, I just been to I go to government buildings all over the country, and I've never seen, you know, such a small office with such a security presence here. So I'm like, you know, is somebody gonna come in here and stab me or something? You know?
You're good.
Yeah.
Plus the station's right there too, so you know.
Okay. All right. But there's always a law enforcement officer stationed here.
Monday through Friday.
Oh, very cool.
Like that for a few years. So
okay.
They request the detail.
And then private security.
And then the 2 private security that come in. So whatever they request, you know, we try to abide by their rules at the end of the day as well. So.
All right. That's interesting. Thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate it. Thank you. And what department are you with? Woonsocket.
Yeah, you're in Woonsocket. Station's right down the street as well.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Thanks, man. I appreciate you answering my questions. Thank you.
If you got any other questions, let me know. I got you, man.
All right, thanks. Appreciate you.
Those the Hokas?
Yeah, Hokas, yeah.
They comfy?
Yeah, real comfy. I do a lot of walking.
I hear you.
Yeah, I do a lot of walking.
Well.
Yeah.
That was actually a good cop. Once he realized he was in the wrong, he didn't double down or throw a fit. He owned up to it and respected Sean's rights, just like any public servant should.
Starts to fill up, like I said.
Yeah, I see.
Come down another time.
Yeah.
In the morning or so.
You know how funny it is? You went from telling me to leave to telling me to come back another time. No, I get it, man. No, listen, I'm not here to get personal information or escalate the situation in any way with anybody, man.
But we both,
I just like to ask questions and
once we get understanding of the reasoning here. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I just like to ask questions. See, I thought it was interesting, you know, about the amount of security here for the small area here. You know, I get to find out different things in different buildings.
I got you. I hear you.
Cool, man. All right, take care. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Have a
good
good
one. No problem.
From trying to kick Sean out to inviting him to come back again, this cop was taught a real lesson in the law. And if you thought that was bad policing, the next encounter is on a whole new level of stupid.
Why are you videoing me? Excuse me?
A First Amendment auditor visited the Department of Motor Vehicles in California to film in public and exercise his constitutional right. But what started as a peaceful audit quickly turned into something else.
In the state of California, Department of Motor Vehicles, I'm out with Liberty Lens Audits. Make sure you go check out his channel and show support. Also go to the Allen Report. Let him know Mr. America sent you over.
Why are you videoing me? Hello? Why are you putting me on video? Stop. Excuse me? Hello? Why is he videoing me?
I have no idea. I'm videoing him for you.
Why is he?
I have no idea. Just, do you know him?
No.
Dude, why? What's your problem? You sure you know him?
I've never met him before in my life.
I'd like to get his face.
Why are you videoing me? Excuse me? Why is he videoing? Huh? What? This guy is just videoing me.
Videoing us.
Are you with him?
No, I'm videoing him for her.
Can we help you? Call the manager to call CHP.
Audits.
I'll come back.
All right.
After telling the auditor to stop filming, the officer pulled out her own phone and started recording him instead. Double standards like this expose everything that is wrong with unchecked authority. And if you thought that cop was in over her head, the next ones practically dug their own grave.
Learn your job, dude. I'm tired of you cops not knowing what your job is.
On February 12th, 2025, a man stood outside Riviera Beach City Hall in Florida holding a sign supporting homeless veterans. What should have been a peaceful expression of free speech quickly turned into a confrontation when the building security guard decided to interfere.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, you have to speak up. I can't hear well. Why that? Why's that? What's that? Yeah, solicitation is free speech. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yeah. Why would you do that?
Because you cannot do it.
It's free speech. It's free speech. This is City Hall property.
When the cops come, you let them know.
All right, you don't have to call the cops, man.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I have a right to be here. This is free speech. You do have a choice. You can just leave me alone. That's the funny thing about it. You don't have to. You don't have to snitch, man. You don't have to snitch. You're snitching.
I'm not snitching. You're not snitching.
Yes, I am. I have every right to be here just as much as anybody else does.
Okay, so when the cops come, you let them know.
I can explain it to them. Okay. I'm all right. How are you?
I guess we got a complaint that you're asking customers for money or you're bothering customers? Or
I'm not bothering customers.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm just out here spreading the message. God bless homeless veterans.
They don't want your presence here right now because I guess some people are feeling uncomfortable with you coming up and they're making complaints to them, and that's why they called me. So, are you conducting any business here?
Like I explained to them, I am conducting business. I'm engaged in freedom of speech, freedom of religion on a traditional public forum, and I have just as much right to be here as anybody else.
Yeah, you do, but you have to be conducting business. And this is the city hall, so that's why, just give me a second. I'm gonna wait for my partner to get here.
All right.
And then we'll go.
Yeah, like I said, I'm engaged in free speech.
I understand that, and you're allowed to do your freedom of speech and whatnot, but obviously this is a timely hour where people are conducting business and they're not really comfortable with you coming up.
Normal business operating hours. Yeah.
Okay, so, but they're not comfortable
What's the uncomfortable law?
Give me a second. Let me just wait till my partner gets here.
How you doing, sir?
You got ID?
Why do I need to give you ID?
Double check something.
What?
He's recording. Just heads up. Just
What's going on?
recording. He's recording too.
A yes or no question. Do you have ID?
Of course I have ID.
Can I have it, please?
No. I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity on a traditional public forum.
I didn't ask you anything else. I just asked you for your
Okay,
ID.
well, I'm just letting you know.
No. Thank you.
I'm just letting you know I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity on a traditional public forum. There's freedom of speech.
Thank you for sharing that.
What's your name?
It's Officer Brown.
What's your badge number?
4994.
Okay, what's your, are you body cam recording? What's your attitude, man?
I asked you a simple question. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. Don't put your hands up to me like that.
I don't need a conversation.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, talk to the hand then. I don't like your attitude, man. But I will put you on notice that if you guys remove me from this property, you will be held accountable. Jackass.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Jackass. I don't like your attitude.
I didn't hear you.
Jackass. I called you a jackass. I don't like your attitude. You come in here, you're supposed to be investigating. You should be asking me questions.
I did ask you.
You asked me for my ID.
Yes, sir.
Is my ID going to tell you whether a crime is afoot? Is my ID, you want me? Hold on a second. It's in my pocket. I'll get my ID out for you.
Moments later, a police officer arrived, and to no surprise, she showed the same disrespect for his rights as the security guard before her. When Jeff refused to follow his unlawful orders, the officer didn't handle it like a professional. Instead, he got even ruder.
Here's my ID right here. You want to ask it questions? Hey, ID, has Jeff committed any crimes, or is he suspected of committing any crimes? No, Jeff, you're not suspected of committing any crimes. See, getting my ID does nothing for your investigation. Learn your job, dude. I'm tired of you cops not knowing what your job is. All right, so am I good to go, man? Am I good to go? No answer, just gonna walk away. Completely unprofessional. So they got the word to leave me alone, and they can't bring themselves to be big enough to say, yes, sir, you're good to go. There's better things to do in the city right now. You're damn right there's better things to be doing in the city right now than harassing a person who is engaged in freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly on a traditional public forum. There they go, tucking their tails and running.
The officers chose to walk away in silence instead of acknowledging that Jeff was fully within his right. Now, while that was shocking, the next officer completely embarrassed himself in front of this individual.
Man, you can't be passing on the right like that, dude. You want to split lanes, but you can't pass on the right.
Does it say that in the statute?
Statute of what?
For lane splitting, lane sharing.
Yeah, you can't pass on the right, bro. It's
okay. Does it say that in the lane sharing statute?
I don't know what the lane sharing statute is.
So the rules governing.
There's not two lanes. So if there's two lanes, so let's just say.
I'm gonna reach for my phone. Don't get. Hey, come here for a second. This is the DMV website. California law does not allow or prohibit motorcycles from passing other vehicles proceeding in the same direction within the same lane. Within the same lane. It has nothing to do with two lanes. I was within the same lane. I wasn't past the white line.
All right, I'm not gonna argue, man. Can you read that again? I'm sorry.
Sure. Well, here, you read it right there. California law does not allow or prohibit, that means I'm allowed to do it, from passing other vehicles proceeding in the same direction within the same lane. A practice often called lane splitting, lane sharing, or filtering. Lane sharing.
Trooper Parody had no idea that he was dealing with someone well versed in statutes and the law. Shockingly, instead of admitting his mistake and letting the motorcyclist go, he escalated the situation further.
Can I see your license, registration, insurance?
Okay, what is your cause for pulling me over and asking for my information?
Unsafe passing within the lane, dude.
No, I'm just showing you the law.
Bro, listen to me. I'm not here to argue with you. I just need your license, registration, insurance, okay?
Okay, and I'm asking you for what purpose?
I just told you, because you're passing vehicles within the same lane on the right.
That's allowed.
Safe passing on the right. I'm not talking about lane splitting. You're not splitting lanes. You're passing vehicles on the right.
Okay. This literally just says lane sharing.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about splitting lanes on the right. You're not allowed to pass vehicles on the right.
The California's lane splitting laws clearly indicated that he had not committed a crime and was not obliged to hand over his documents, but something about this learning had hurt the officer's ego.
In order for you to ask me for that information, I have to have broken the law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great, thank you, great. Okay, this is being recorded. So, if I have to provide you my information, I want to know what law I broke, because I clearly just showed to you. This is from the California DMV.
Bro.
You are misinterpreting and misunderstanding the law, man.
There's also a law that says you cannot pass unsafely on the right.
Okay, so I have this on tape. Show me where I passed unsafely.
I will. Let me see your license, registration, and...
So, again, what law did I break?
Let me explain it to you, okay?
You're going to explain it different than law.
You know the law.
No, I can read English.
Okay. All right, well, I can too. So let me explain my interpretation of lane splitting.
Okay, your interpretation as opposed to facts.
Okay. Facts, lanes, whatever you want to call it, man. Let me explain to you what I consider lane splitting. If you've got 2 lanes or more, all right?
Which doesn't say here, right?
If you've got 2 lanes or more,
okay,
in one direction, and you go in between the lanes, whether you're in the lane to the right or the left.
Parody was adamant that the motorcyclist had broken the law, and what should have ended long ago was about to turn into a long and meaningless altercation.
The thing is, right, and where you're wrong, okay, that's your interpretation of it. That's not what the black and white says. And look, take your glasses off and I'm gonna get off my bike, is that all right? Within the same lane. It has nothing to do with 2 lanes.
Lane splitting though, we're not talking about lane splitting here.
Hey, I'm talking about what the law says.
But you're looking at this as lane splitting. There's no 2 lanes to split, my man. You understand that? There are no 2 lanes to be splitting here.
Okay, so show me right there where it says it has to be 2 lanes.
Bro, are you splitting lanes?
I'm sharing.
Hold on. Sharing the lane.
Yes, look, right there as it says, lane sharing.
Right.
Sharing.
While you're splitting lanes.
No.
Bro, you're looking at the DMV web. There's vehicle code. Okay.
Okay.
Vehicle code. Let me look it up and I'll explain it to you better.
Okay.
How's that sound, man?
All right, I'll tell you what. Why don't you look it up? I got time. I'm my own boss. All right. Why don't you look it up? And if I broke the law, not your interpretation of it, if you need to get a sergeant or somebody else here, do so. I'll gladly hand you my information.
Frustrated after being outmatched by the motorcyclist, the officer called for backup while the rider continued to outclass him.
Hey, here's some more clarification for you, okay? Sorry, I didn't mean to touch it. All right, AB 51, into law, which define lane splitting as driving a motorcycle as 2 wheels in contact with the ground between rows of stopped or moving vehicles in the same lane. Doesn't matter. I can be in the same lane as long as did you see me over the white line at all?
On the shoulder, no.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
thank you.
Exactly, yeah. Hey, so, dude, I'm reading the vehicle code.
Hold on. Yep. AB 51. Which
I'm reading the vehicle code, man. So, first of all, before we even get there, man, my intention of stopping you was because it was for safety issues, right? I mean, you're passing cars to the right. If a vehicle had to slam on the brakes and turn right and they hit you, whatever. Just like you're splitting lanes, right?
Yep. While speaking with his sergeant on the phone, Parody was instructed not to issue a ticket and to end the stop. However, even this didn't stop the officer from continuing his attempts at intimidation.
But reading the law, it is not clearly stated as far as whether or not you could be passing on the right in 1 lane or 2. All right, so I just called my supervisor, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I don't know anything about that because I never write it because it's not clearly written in law."
Sure.
Right? Well, it's not.
No, except it is.
Well, except it doesn't clarify whether or not you're allowed to pass. Well, it says in the same lane, but lane splitting. Well, just hear me out.
Go ahead.
Lane splitting in my interpretation, okay? Lane splitting is you got 2 or more lanes in the same direction and you're going in between the lanes, right? But the law says within 2 or more rows of traffic in the same lane.
The trooper began blaming the statutes, claiming that they were unclear. At this point, he seemed willing to do anything to avoid admitting he was wrong and letting the individual go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, both of you, right? In order for you to ask me for my ID, I have to have committed a crime, correct? You can't just walk up, hold on, let's answer this right. You can't just walk up to somebody and say, give me your ID, right? We don't live in a police state, you guys are meant to enforce the law. Okay. So I have to have committed a crime in order for you to give me your ID, correct? Correct. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's why I'm arguing. I don't want to argue with you about, you know, whether I have to give you my ID, because I know I don't have to. So it's, and I'm going to use this term because that's what it is, and it's not a negative infliction upon you or anybody else. There's a difference between stupidity and ignorance. Ignorance, I'm ignorant of a great many things. I'm not a brain surgeon, so I don't know anything about it. But ignorance of this specific statute as it applies in California, it says same lane. I know what you're saying. That's what the general public thinks. It is poorly written. They tried to do something about it. CHP had guidelines on it that were removed because people had questions and didn't understand what the law actually says.
Yeah. The individual turned out to be an active duty Navy officer with an impressive command of California law, an example that every citizen could learn from.
My intention was never to actually give you a ticket.
Then why did you ask me for my registration and insurance?
Because I have to document all my contacts. Okay, I have to document my contacts.
If I broke law?
Well,
you have my info. It's right there on my plate.
So you're not getting a ticket, but initially my interpretation was that you were breaking the law, but you're not getting a ticket. All I'm asking is for your identification so I can record my stop with you.
Oh, you've got a recording of it.
All right, man.
You've got a dash cam.
Whatever,
what do you mean whatever?
It's all good. You don't have. It's all good.
You're right. I don't. So I'm asking you though. Did I break the law today? Yes or no?
Yeah. Like I just explained to you. Originally, my interpretation was yes, you did. But now reading the section, and it's not clearly stated.
The situation had become almost comical, as the trooper, despite acknowledging that no law was broken, still refused to let the motorcyclist go.
I know you guys got a job to do, but this is frustration. He clearly read it. I haven't violated the law. I've got it on camera. Hey, you guys have a tough job, trust me, I get it. Some chapstick. You said yourself it's hot. Okay, come on.
Just so we understand, my probable cause to stop you is because you were passing vehicles on the right.
You right? All
right.
Which is not against the law.
Trooper Parady's behavior exemplifies exactly how a law enforcement officer should not operate. He hid behind the guise of public safety while completely disregarding the law.
Yeah.
I'm simply asking you if you have a license. You say yes, you do in another state, but you can't provide that information to me.
Again, tell me what law I broke that caused this stop to begin with.
I just did, sir. I just did.
No.
And now I'm asking for some identification. And you say that you have a license, but you don't want to provide that information.
Sure. If you pulled me over for a valid stop, which right now we've already established this isn't a valid stop. You went back.
The stop is valid, man. The stop, it's a valid stop.
No, it's not.
It's a valid stop.
You just
You're
said
passing cars on the right.
Yes, that's not against the law.
On the right.
It's not against the law.
Hey, in my opinion, it's unsafe passing vehicles on the right, whether it's lane splitting or not. You're not getting a ticket for that. All I'm asking for is for some ID.
The trooper surely needs a reality check, and someone should tell him that the law doesn't work according to his opinion. Shortly after, 4 officers surrounded the motorcyclist, and it is still unknown what law he broke.
I'm just telling you what I got right now. Right now I have you're riding a motorcycle.
Yep.
And you don't have a license in California.
Yep.
So is the vehicle going to get towed, or are you going to provide me with your information?
I'll tell you what, if you want to tow it, then we can end up in court. Okay. That's fine. Go for it. Get a supervisor here, get somebody else here. I'll call my lawyer. Right. Because you're not, you already know who I am. What information do you want? Well, hey,
all you do is show me your license, man.
No, I don't. I don't have to show you my license. What crime did I commit? What crime did I commit?
We're done here, brother.
Great. So 4 officers, all these resources for a crime that never got committed. And you learned something. Hey, man, you guys stay safe. Have a good day.
After going back and forth for almost 30 minutes, the trooper did something which he should have done instantly, letting the Navy guy go without any trouble. Shockingly, to avenge on this humbling, the officer ended up contacting his command officer and told him about the incident. Talk about being petty. Now, while this arrogant cop was left humiliated, this woman officer also had plenty to learn.
Did you learn anything today, ma'am?
I learned a lot today.
Yeah. That's good.
In December of 2020, First Amendment auditor NC Tyrant Hunter was filming outside a private building of Micro Measurements Group when a couple of employees came out trying to intimidate him and stop him from filming the public place.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I can't hear you, man.
Who are you?
Just a guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything we can help you guys with?
Yeah, I'd like some coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. That'd be great, man. Maybe a bagel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if some issue or you guys needed help with something.
No, I think we've pretty grown. I think we can take care of ourselves.
All righty.
Yeah. That coffee, I need 5 sugars and 2 creams.
All righty.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you? Not too good.
The auditor firmly stood his ground, causing the employees to leave the scene. However, they called 911 and a female officer arrived. Unfortunately, she appeared to be just as uninformed about the law as the employees.
What are you out here doing?
What's your name and badge number?
Officer Akins. We don't have badge numbers.
Employee number? ID number?
Officer Akins.
Officer Akins, you got a card?
I can get you one, yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely. So the manager of this facility pretty much called us. Hi, how are you? They said that y'all aren't supposed to be out here.
Not supposed to be on the side of the road?
Technically, this right here, this is their property.
No, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay.
Okay, get the supervisor, please.
Yes, sir.
Right on.
The auditor called for a supervisor, hoping he would bring some sort of justice. Meanwhile, cops kept ganging up on him, but he refused to stop filming, as per his constitutional right.
So you check on
That works for me. So the manager here called, said they're out here filming. Technically, this right here is their property. They're asking for a supervisor or captain or somebody. I let them know that this is still their property, it's private property. They can't be right here, and they wanted a supervisor. They said I was wrong. That's what
Yeah. Well, she's fixing to learn something. A free education today. 2 people filming on the side of the road. Huh? That's crazy.
It was truly bizarre to see so many police cruisers called for just a camera. However, when the supervisor arrived, he thoroughly reprimanded the female officer. Moving on, this private investigator truly took these dumb cops to the cleaners.
And then you were relocated here. This is what was dispatched to me.
Okay,
and
did
you're
you-
parked in front of somebody's house. This is not a normal place for people to be parked.
Okay.
And I am asking you to identify yourself.
Okay.
Okay? And you have to, by law, identify yourself. I need your ID, sir, to verify who you are.
I have to identify myself if you suspect me. Florida, is this a Terry stop? Am I being detained?
You are right now. Yes, you are.
Under suspicion of what crime, sir?
Loitering and prowling.
Do you know what loitering is?
I do.
Under the statute,
Sir, here's what's
loitering.
gonna happen. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me your driver's license here in a minute, or you're going to go to jail for resisting.
Okay.
I'm being honest with you.
I'm going to give him a license, then I'm going to file an internal affairs complaint on you for violating my Fourth Amendment right.
The investigator was forced to hand over his ID under the threat of arrest, but the officer was about to realize he had messed with the wrong guy.
If you want to sit around and wait for a supervisor, we're more than happy to do that.
Well, you got no problem sitting here detaining me.
Do you want to sit around and wait for a supervisor?
I asked for a supervisor. I'd like for you to call a supervisor. I'm glad you got a smile on your face while you're violating my rights. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I suggest you refresh yourself on the law and what reasonable suspicion is. You go ahead and smile now. I will be filing an internal affairs complaint against you. Not that your corrupt internal affairs will do anything about it. Apparently you boys in blue don't know how to break that line.
He wasn't about to let the officer violate his rights and walk away unchallenged. While waiting for the supervisor to arrive, he put the deputy in his place.
There's no public
Yeah, but you
record
also
exemption
know
on
there's a
that.
state you have to have a reasonable cause to run my tag through David. That's why that state trooper, that's why the Florida Highway Patrol trooper got sued, right?
Okay, sir, listen. If I ran your emergency contact, looked at your emergency contact information,
Just a minute.
that we're not allowed.
6429 with a valid.
You need to move your vehicle out from in front of her house.
Why?
So you need to move your vehicle out from your house.
So you're saying it's illegal for me to sit there?
Is there even a shoulder? You're parked in the grass. Is there even
It's
a
an
shoulder
easement,
there?
33 feet from the center line. Are you giving me a lawful
You're free to
command?
go. You can go, or you can wait for the supervisor to come.
I'm going to wait for the supervisor.
Please do. Don't go back in your vehicle.
Why can't I go back in my vehicle?
Because I'm standing out here and I don't know what's in your vehicle.
So once again, once the supervisor leaves and you leaves, am I allowed to sit there and stay there? That's a simple yes or no question.
Why are you sitting here?
I am working.
Okay.
The officer clearly needed to revisit the Constitution, though it's doubtful he had ever read it. The investigator was now ready to expose the officer's ignorance.
You've came here, you've required me to show ID when I didn't have to. I'm sitting on the side of a road, I haven't broken a law, and you have abused your authority. That gun and that badge doesn't give you abusive rights.
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Sure, go right ahead.
Do you have a house?
Do I have a house?
Do you live somewhere?
No, I live under a rock.
See, now you're being sarcastic, and I'm just asking you honest questions. You're
What
getting
do
upset.
you
I'm not even
think?
saying anything. So you live at a house. You got private property, right? So you, in your experience,
yeah.
If somebody was parked right in front of your house, like that vehicle is,
yeah.
Would that rouse your suspicion?
Perhaps, yeah.
Would you call law enforcement?
No.
You'd probably go out and handle it yourself.
Probably.
Would you arm yourself and go out there and do it?
May or may not.
Okay, well, not everyone has that courage, sir. They're not as brave as you. So that's when they call us, because this is who we swore our oath to, the citizens of El Paso County.
The investigator made it clear officers swear an oath to protect, not violate people's rights, as the deputy had done in this case. Despite the deputy's attempts to laugh it off and provoke him, the investigator refused to let the situation de-escalate.
Do you think this is funny, deputy?
No, I do not think
Let's make it serious. Let's talk to each other, two gentlemen, okay? You do understand the Fourth Amendment, right, deputy? What does the Fourth Amendment guarantee?
I'm not going to say here. You're,
See, you don't want to talk about something, you're going to lose that.
But you keep shutting me down. I'm trying to explain to you what's
no,
going on.
No, you're not. You're avoiding it. I'm answering your questions, and you don't want to answer mine. Go ahead.
I'm trying to explain this very nicely to you, sir.
Suspicion.
I have, and that's all I need.
That
reasonable suspicion that a crime is or about or has been committed.
Am I in bizarro world, or is this deputy not understanding the English language? Okay, listen to me once again. In order to require me to ID myself. See, you don't want to listen.
Going in circles?
No, because you're not
You're standing
listening.
here for the supervisor. I don't particularly want to talk to you anymore. You're free to get in your car and leave.
No,
if you want to get in your
you're
car,
not
you can
listening.
leave, or you can wait for the supervisor.
The deputy clearly did not understand that mere suspicion is not enough to detain someone. Reasonable, articulable suspicion is required. The investigator then posed another question, and once again, the crooked cop had no answer.
You have no control or custody over me.
You're not coming
I don't.
near me.
You don't tell me what to do.
I'm telling you, you're not coming near me. You're gonna.
I'm not coming near you. I'm looking to see what this deputy. Make sure you don't get a rifle and shoot me. You know, you cops aren't known for shooting people. You want to say suspicion. Suspicion is not a crime. Loitering, which is also contempt of cop, that standard's also not met, because under the Florida statute, you must give me a reason to articulate why I'm in the area I am. I explained to you that I'm an investigator and I'm working. I can tell by your body language, man. I'm a certified interrogator. I've been doing this job for 16 years. All right? Look at your body. Look at your body language.
You can't have a conversation. I
Really?
tried to have a conversation.
What are we doing
and
now?
all you're doing is jumping up and down. You're
I'm
all
jumping up
upset.
and down.
You don't know anything. You're being insulting. You're being rude. But you want me to be nice to you. That's
I'm not
how
asking
want
you
this
to be. I'm not
two-way,
asking you to be
right?
nice. You haven't been nice to me. You violated my Fourth Amendment. You're telling me what to do and what I can't do. You told me I can't stay there when I have every legal right to sit there. See, you think that's all okay. Because once again, you have that gun and that badge, and you think that gives you the right to tell people what to do when you have no legal authority to do so.
The deputy was clearly out of his depth, and continuing the conversation seemed pointless, so the investigator decided to wait in his car, but the deputy found yet another issue with that.
But I'm gonna just go wait up at my vehicle.
Listen to me. Do not go. I do not know what's in
I
your
didn't
vehicle.
say in. I did not say
You're
in.
gonna either wait here or you're gonna leave. You're not going in that near
I
that
said
vehicle.
I'm just gonna go stand
You're
over
not
there.
going near that vehicle. I do not know what's in that vehicle, and the way you're acting right now, I don't trust you. You're gonna either stand here, wait for the supervisor, or you're gonna tell me you're gonna leave, and then we're gonna get in our car and leave.
Am I being detained?
How would you like to? What did I just tell you? You can leave, but then we're leaving. That's the bottom line. If you're going back to the vehicle, we're gonna get
Go
out
ahead
of
and
here.
leave. I'll wait for the supervisor.
She's not coming up here by herself. I can tell you that right now. She's not, and I would not allow her.
I'm
to
such a
come up here by
scary guy. Is it okay if I put my ID back in my wallet?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have no weapons on me.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna make any furtive movements. Make sure you don't pull your weapon and shoot. Okay?
Sir, you can put your ID back in your pocket.
All right, I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to move now, okay?
Okay.
It's crazy how these officers continue to violate people's rights under the guise of officer safety. Despite being armed and outnumbering the individual, they seem to be far too intimidated by him to back down.
Has this officer explained to you what's happened?
It's my understanding someone called in about your vehicle being parked on private property.
Okay.
All right. And then that you weren't happy with the way they were handling it. And
Okay.
So they called me.
May I ask you, is what I'm doing sitting here, is that a crime?
If this is private property, yes.
Okay, it's public easement, is it not?
Without looking at.
You know what public easement is,
I know
correct?
what an easement is.
Okay,
yes.
all right. Now you're a sergeant, so I know you've been on the force for a while.
Correct.
I'm sure, although not semantically accurate with the law, you're probably accurate enough to know how far easement goes off the road, and the fact that someone pulled right off the shoulder is on public easement. I mean, if you would give me that much. Okay.
The sergeant arrived, and although she was much more ready to listen to what the investigator had to say, she wasn't going to side with the truth.
Where I draw the issue is when this deputy over here demanded under the threat of arrest for me to ID myself, when I clearly articulated to this deputy, by the U.S. Constitution, I'm guaranteed a Fourth Amendment right. Not only that, under Florida statute and Florida Constitution, under Florida statute, he must either have RAS or PC that I've either committed a crime or about to commit a crime.
I'm going to stand over here if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So when we make contact with someone, that's the first thing we do is identify them so we know who we're out with.
That's your policy. I agree with that. But again, I'm talking about the law when he has a right to demand under the color of authority code, U.S. Code 18, Section 242, which is deprivation of rights under the color of law. When you all put that badge on and take an oath, you become what's under the color of law. You have authority given to you. And he must meet certain requirements in order to use that authority under the color of law.
It turned out the supervisor wasn't any better, and things quickly went from bad to worse for the investigator.
And actually, under the law, if I'm not allowed to tell law enforcement, I can get in trouble with the law if I tell you who I'm working.
I don't.
Statute 493.
Well, I know in the past when we
What?
have
I never asked you.
I'm sorry?
I never asked you who you're working.
Okay, would you like me to stop the
All
video?
right, hold on.
You want to stand fast on that, deputy?
Listen, I'm standing here to help. Okay, just.
Yeah, but he just told a lie.
Okay, well, I know in the past when people are working as a private investigator, they will call our communications
Normally, yes.
to let them know I'm out here at this address so we don't get calls like this, right? So
and
we
the-
could have avoided this whole
Well,
situation.
no, that's not necessarily true, and you are correct. That's something we normally do. It is a courtesy. It's not a requirement.
Right.
Nothing's going to come of it. All right. I've been doing my activism for years, and you know, it's not a thin blue line. It's a thick line. I used to be part of it. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. But I have an issue. I want this gentleman count. I explained to him, it's not that I don't want to give you my ID, but because I'm an activist, I stand firm on my constitutional rights. I explained to him about the Fourth Amendment, and I explained he doesn't have a legal right to demand my ID.
Well, we're here for a call. We're here for a purpose. It's not like this was a self-initiated call. We got a call from a citizen. We have a legal right to be here.
Yes.
The sergeant seemed completely clueless, and despite being educated by the citizen, she continued to side with her corrupt deputy.
For a Terry stop, okay?
This isn't a Terry stop.
Exactly. It wasn't a traffic, and I'm not required to produce ID. This is not a stop and ID state. In the state of Florida, under statute, in order for me to be required to ID myself, you must either suspect me of committing a crime or about to commit a crime, and you must either have PC of that or RAS. He kept on saying his reasonable suspicion was just suspicion. That's what he thinks his standard is for me to be required to ID. And I asked him, sir, suspicion of what crime?
Yes, I would like to, at this point, move on, though, and try to get this resolved. I'm sure you obviously have a job to do, right?
Yeah,
You're on.
but how's it going to be resolved? I would like acknowledgement, and if you don't feel comfortable, I'd like for you to say so for the record.
No, you're not being detained, but anytime, like on a traffic stop, when we approach a vehicle and someone needs to get something out of their vehicle, we walk
Yeah,
with
but
them.
it's over with. He was done with me. He said I couldn't get back in my vehicle until he left. He doesn't have any right to control me like that.
All right, like I said, you're here on a job, and I know you said you won't tell us who you work for or whatever. Is there any way that we can confirm that you're here doing a private investigate? Or
I gave my investigator's license.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
It is incredibly difficult to get a police officer to admit wrongdoing. The investigator kept voicing his concerns, but the corrupt sergeant remained stubborn, continuing to flex her authority.
Oh, it's no sense in
Right, like I said, I want to
everything.
move forward at this point and try to
Yeah.
resolve it. Obviously, like I said, they were here on a call. She's, a mom young kids. She's saying, I guess there's a bus
I
stop
have
right
no
down here.
problem with none of that.
So when they show up and make contact with you, they have a right to ask for your identification.
Ask. They have a right to ask. He does not have a right to threaten me with arrest, which he did.
Well, honestly, right when they show up on a call and they ask for your ID and you refuse to give it to them when they're here for a lawful reason, that could be considered resisting without. That is an arrestable offense.
I know the subsection for resisting without violence. It's not. I have 2 cases going to the Florida Supreme Court.
Okay.
One of them is over this very same matter, which I'm about to sue the state for $5 million. All right, so I think I'm pretty well versed on what I'm doing.
The female supervisor was clearly no match for this fierce citizen, who soon realized he wouldn't get anything out of this.
The U.S. Constitution and being a servant to the citizens, I expect you to uphold the law, because you guys take every opportunity to say that I'm enforcing the law. But when I see officers break the law, they're not so quick to stand fast on it. And that's what that deputy has done. He has broken the law by violating my constitutional rights. And I know that's maybe all, we can just brush that aside, that's no big deal, we're doing what we're supposed to do. I'm asking you to really look deep into it, what I'm saying. We're losing our way in this country, deputy. I'd like you to research the law, and if you verify what I said is true, I want him counseled. I will be doing a PRR on his video and audio, and I will be filing an internal affairs complaint because I believe I'm steadying my claim. Thank you for your time, man. Is it okay for me to go to my vehicle? Okay.
This guy was 100% grounded in the law, standing up for his rights and what he believed was the truth. This is how every citizen should handle their interactions with the police. He continued to file a complaint against the deputy, and it is highly likely he will also pursue a lawsuit against the deputy and the city. While this cop messed with the wrong person, this next tyrant made an even bigger mistake.
Get out of the car. Get out of the goddamn car before you get tased. What up, sir? Put this motherfucker in park.
In May 2023, Deputy Creech of the Galveston County Sheriff's Office flagged down Mr. Sanyal, who was approaching a roadblock in the middle of the road. While it seemed like a normal stop at first, things were about to escalate quickly.
Watch out, Haley!
Yeah,
alright. Just bring it out here to where this wreck is.
Got to be obnoxious.
Alright, just I'll call you back. Well, yeah, there's a police car right in the middle of the road.
What's going on?
And you're all on me. Where's your driver's license?
My driver's license is in my wallet, but I'm trying to get home. Right here. What's going on? Why is the road blocked?
Okay, do you see lights and police cars at the roadblock and you think you're going to drive through it?
I'm going normal speed, but what's going on?
Normal speed, there's a car in the lane of traffic.
I know, why is there a car in the lane of traffic?
Mr. Sanyal was confused by the situation and calmly asked the deputy about what was happening. However, the deputy misinterpreted his questions and, instead of providing clarity, took actions that escalated the situation in an unexpected and troubling direction.
Is that your concern?
Absolutely. It's obviously on the opposite.
You ready to go to jail?
Sir, please, you know.
Sir, please what? How about you come stand in the middle of the road and let a car come holler at you?
I'm going at like 40 miles an hour, man.
Get out.
Report police lights.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Sir.
Get out of the car.
Get out.
Can I ask you what's going on? Hey.
Get out of the car.
I'm recording all that.
Get out of the car.
Dude, please, I'm putting my wallet in my pocket.
Get out of the car. Get out of the goddamn car before you get tased.
What up, sir?
Put this motherfucker in park.
Man.
Probably one of the worst police interactions you'd ever see. Deputy Creech is definitely one of the worst pigs to ever wear this uniform. And surprisingly, this gets even worse.
I have been going the speed limit. Ow! Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Can you explain to me what's going on?
You're going to jail.
Without any warning, the deputy tases Mr. Sanyal, and to make matters worse, he cuts off his body camera. Later, he threw the individual on the pavement, smashing his face into the gravel as he placed his entire body weight on him.
Like to request the 23
You can request it. Request the claims.
Okay.
Uber driver. Yeah, he almost ran us over.
The deputy attempts to mock him by claiming him to be an Uber driver, and also says that he almost ran the cops over when clearly he slowed down in time. Keep watching as the deputy continues to lie.
Okay, my girl, okay? Nope, keep following. He used the Uber driver that tried to run us over.
Mr. Sanyal was later charged with resisting arrest and driving under the influence, both of which were completely unfounded. The district attorney eventually dismissed these charges. In November 2024, he filed a lawsuit against Deputy Creech and the city. The case is still pending trial, and we hope Mr. Sanyal receives the justice he deserves. We also hope the deputy is held accountable for his actions and removed from the department. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today, we witnessed how informed citizens stood up for their right, exposing the ignorance and arrogance of some police officers. In the second case, Deputy Creech made a serious mistake, and justice will eventually catch up to him as the lawsuit progresses. Officers like him have no place in law enforcement, and hopefully this will serve as a reminder that accountability is key to upholding the integrity of the department. If you agree with me, please support us by liking this video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, check out these corrupt cops ruining their careers in seconds.
What you gonna do?
Stop pushing.
What are you gonna do to me?
Stop pushing.
What are you gonna do to me?
Stop pushing.
What are you gonna do to me?
Stop pushing me.
What you gonna do to me?